to order the special meeting of the Halifax Regional Water Commission Board of Commissioners. There's one item on the agenda, which is the review of the year-end financial audited financial statements and consideration of those for approval. Are there any other agenda items in addition to that matter? Okay, hearing none, we'll proceed with the Audit and Finance Department, Audit and Finance Committee report, and we have a presentation from Mr. DeMont.
Amanda, would you be able to load up the shortened version of the presentation, please? Thank you.
That's the short one.
Good morning, Louis DeMont. I'm the Director of Corporate Services and the CFO for Halifax Water. I'm here today to discuss and give highlights related to our year-end financial results for the fiscal year 25-26. Then go to the next slide, please. So what we have here is our financial statements. I will reference that we have two different means of accounting that we use for Halifax Water's financial statements. One is in accordance with IFRS, which is used primarily for consolidation with the HRM financial statements. The second version of the financial statements, the means of accounting we use are the NSRAB handbook, which has different accounting rules that we are required to follow. In the financial statements, the first part of the statements are under IFRS, and then there are schedules at the end of the financial statements that are done in accordance with the RAB financial handbook. I also wanted to reference that there is a restatement of a couple of the items on our balance sheet, primarily related to a memorandum of understanding signed in 2008 between the regional municipality and Halifax Water, which sees the accounting for culverts that are over 3 meters in diameter. So we have reflected that memorandum of understanding into these financial results, and that detail is related to and outlined in note number 17 to the financial statements. Just wanted to do a quick highlight of the assets. Halifax Water currently has approximately $1.7 billion in assets, an increase of approximately $113 million. I'll highlight that Halifax Water's cash position has increased by approximately $9 million, primarily related to the issue of new debt of approximately $68 million, and an increase in the cash that we've received and hold related to our regional development charges. On the asset side, our physical assets and our intangibles, we added approximately $142 million in new assets. That's been offset by depreciation. So the net increase in our utility plant and service is approximately $56 million. If you can go to the next slide, please. So on the liability side, we see that there's very little change in our total payables year over year. We have a significant decrease in the current portion of our long-term debt related to a repayment of a debt related to in the 24-25 fiscal year. So our current portion is decreased by approximately $8 million. Our deferred contributed capital continues to increase related to assets donated through the development process and funds received by the regional development charges. We also have the increase in long-term debt I referenced earlier. So that increase in long-term debt drives an increase to the liabilities of approximately $56 million. If you can go to the next slide, please. So our comprehensive earnings, under IFRS, we have comprehensive earnings of approximately $9.9 million. Our revenues have increased by approximately $10 million related primarily to the rate increase that went into effect January 1st, 2026, and an increase in consumption of approximately 3% over the fiscal year. Our operating expenditures have gone up by approximately $22.6 million, driven by three main categories. Our salary increases, and which include increases in our union contracts, increases for non-union employees, the increase in the number of employees over the fiscal year. So salaries have gone up. We've also seen a significant increase in our depreciation charges. And we also have, under the IFRS reporting requirements, an increase in our pension obligation of approximately $7 million reflected in the financial statements. Go to the next slide. So as I mentioned, Halifax Water has two different means of accounting that are performed: the IFRS for HRM consolidation, the NSREB financial reporting, which is for our budgeting and for rate setting. What we have here is the summary of the key differences between the two. So we have a $9.9 million as a surplus under IFRS. We have the various changes related to the way pension expenses are recorded, how depreciation is recorded, the principal payments on our debentures are recorded differently under IFRS versus REB, and then changes in the way the contributed capital and comprehensive earnings are reported. If you go to the next slide, please. So this is a summary of the operating deficit for the fiscal year. We had budgeted a deficit of approximately $34.1 million. With the rate increases that took effect January 1st of 2026, our revenues did increase. And the result is for the fiscal year an operating deficit of approximately $24.3 million. Most of the changes, as we discussed earlier on the IFRS financial results on the operating side, are consistent into these financial statements. The difference is driven by the reconciliation, primarily related to the way depreciation and debt principal is recorded, and then the other comprehensive income is recorded. And with that, that's the last slide. Happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Montburn. Do the commissioners have any questions in regard to the financial statements, which have been reviewed at a meeting earlier today of the Audit and Finance Committee in some detail, including with the external auditors present? So any questions of Mr. Montburn? If not, I've got a couple quick ones, hopefully. I was interested in the adjustment that was made in regard to culverts, which are over a certain size, which then are defined as a bridge, which meant that the asset gets transferred to HRM. Are there any cash considerations associated with that transfer?
Under the agreement, Halifax Water is required to replace the infrastructure, and then those assets are donated to HRM, and there's no cash consideration paid for those.
And once they are donated to HRM, who maintains or replaces them?
The municipality would be required to maintain and operate those assets going forward.
Right. And in terms of drivers increases, if you will, in various elements of the budget, depreciation is one of those under the NSRAB accounting. Am I correct in understanding that the more that Halifax Water increases its capital spending and builds new projects or refurbishes projects, ultimately the more depreciation there is, and that ultimately at the end of the day impacts on rates which have to be raised to pay for it?
Yes. As we increase our assets, you're correct in terms of the impact on our depreciation. It also will have an ongoing increase in the debt that we are required to issue to be able to finance those assets, and those two combined are a significant component of the increase in our costs.
Any questions? Yes. First, Commissioner Steele, and then Commissioner Beagle.
Okay, thank you, Chair. I have a question around the accumulated operating deficits. I'm curious, Louis, how we plan to address those. I look at 24, 25, and then again in 25, 26. I do know that this was addressed by the RAB in terms of what we could or couldn't do on the operating deficits, but you may just want to speak to what are our plans around this.
So as Halifax Water was preparing its rate application filed in May of 2025, we recognized that there would be an increase in rates. We recognized that it was likely that those rates would not be able to be increased before January 1st of 2026. So Halifax Water anticipated that there would be a operating deficit for the 25-26 fiscal year. And in our application proposed to build that into the rates as rate increases in the 26-27 fiscal year. The RAB determined that they wanted a longer term strategy to recover the deficit. Halifax Water proposed to do it in 1 year. And that the Halifax Water strategy would need to be presented to them in our rate application due by the end of September. So that is our intent, is to develop a strategy that would see the recovery of the accumulated deficits for a number of years in the future.
And Commissioner Beagle Gammon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Steele actually asked one of my questions. I think the other one, excuse me, is when we're reconciling the IFRA with the RAB board, that slide about the reconciliation, there will, Louis, I know that we're speaking in audit and finance that there's a change coming. Can you just speak a little bit to what that might do in terms of how we might see something different next year when we're looking at our financial statements?
There are changes that are coming into place under the IFRS rules. The auditors, Halifax Water will work with the auditors to develop and reflect the changes in those new standards over the next couple of years. I don't believe any of them come into effect next fiscal year.
Okay.
Our understanding is that it will create differences between the IFRS reporting standards and the NSRAB reporting standards, and we would update our reconciliation between the two in our future audits and future reports.
Thank you. And Louis, just a minor edit on that last UARB. It would be the NSRAB loss.
Correct.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions arising out of the financial statements, beyond the financial statement year end? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the audited financial statements for the year end?
I can make that motion, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Egan, seconded by Commissioner Cuddle. And any further discussion in regard to the motion?
Does the motion need to be read out, sir?
I don't have it in front of me. Oh, there it is.
That the Halifax Water Board approve the financial statements of the Halifax Regional Water Commission for the year ended March 31st, 2026.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye or raising their hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? None. Motion passed. Is there any additional business that commissioners would like to discuss at this point? Hearing none, could we have a motion to adjourn? Commissioner
So moved.
Purdy and seconded by Commissioner Steele. All in favor? Okay, adjourned.
Adjourned.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all.